My name is Dylan Price. I was asked to come down here this morning and talk about my whole experience with United Way and all the different things that the funding goes towards, because my life really is like a prime example of exactly how it's all supposed to play out. So really, my experiences in Watertown started with the Credo farm, and obviously, just like anyone else in a position like myself, the Credo farm seemed like it was probably going to be like any other rehab, really. Um, I didn't really know what to expect. I figured it would be kind of like a hospital mentality. Um, and I heard all sorts of crazy stories about what the farm had to offer and what it would be. But long story short, there's a few key moments for me there that really made the huge difference. And within my first month, I was offered to go to the 45th Credo anniversary. And at the 45th Credo anniversary dinner, it was stunning because, as a person in recovery who's never seen, people really get sober. People tell you like, oh, that's not a thing. Like the statistics are the statistics. It doesn't happen. People don't get sober. At the anniversary dinner, seeing the exact opposite. It was the first time in my life that I sat down and I listened to 4 and 5 separate people talk about their stories and about how they had 40 to 50 years sober, and they still made it a point to come back to this place and give back and talk about it because how profound the effect was on their life. And they were just happy. They were happy, successful, and just their stories they'd blow your mind. And at the same time, it wasn't even just the alumni of the program, but at one point they had everybody stand up that had anything to do with Credo as a whole. And probably 200 or 300 people, maybe more, I don't really remember. They all just stood up on their feet and kind of looking around, just to think like your resources were spread that wide. You had that many people with their hands in to help you build a life. So really that hit me like a ton of bricks that like if I had any opportunity and any chance to do something different, like this would be it. And as I worked the program, I found that it wasn't like another 12-step program. It wasn't, hospital setting. It wasn't any of that. Actually, it was, a program that's built around the main basis of building a life that drugs don't fit into rather than taking the drugs out of your life. And it goes all the way into your past, taking care of any traumas that you might have, and then working to build something completely different than you've ever had before, and live a way that you've never lived before, think a way you've never thought before, and they do it all so different than I've ever experienced. That program was absolutely amazing. So then I spent time in the halfway house, and it's the same thing. It was just a prime example of exactly how the community can help you when you're open to it. It started off kind of slow, but it started off through volunteering at the Urban Mission, and through the Urban Mission that opened up other doors. When I first started at the halfway house, they had all these promises that everybody kind of talked about. They're like, oh, well, if you do X, Y, and Z, you can end up with an apartment and you can do this, and they have programs for that, and it all kind of sounds like a long shot because I guess as a person, some of our positions, you either don't see those kind of things play out firsthand, or just you would think, well, how would that be possible? I'd walk away with all of this. Every single program makes promises, and I did exactly what they said, and it worked out. I can't, and I really can't be any more grateful for just that being as simple as it is. What they said they were going to do, they did it. And even years down the road, like a couple years later, here I am going to start a business, and I get a link emailed to me from Credo that says, hey, we have the alumni scholarship program for educational and business funds. And next thing you know, like, I'm sitting having conversations, and Credo even wrote me a $2,500 check to get my business up and running. We have to give back because everything that all these programs have given us have been substantial. It's given me the opportunity to build a life that I thought that maybe I'd attain at 30 or 40 years old. Everything that I've needed and wanted and strove to do, I've had someone right there, just ready to help me out. I'm on my second year of my own contracting business and doing really, really well. I've stayed busy through the whole thing, and through everything that I've learned from Credo and every bit of help that I've had along the way, I managed to pull this thing together to be great. And I actually own some apartments now, and I rent those out, and I plan on taking that to the next level. Got a beautiful, beautiful truck, a beautiful home with a big fenced-in yard right in town for my dogs to run around. And I keep going back. I keep going back to the farm and preaching this to the kids, because it's almost just like you wouldn't believe it if you didn't hear it from somebody who'd really experienced it and said, like, hey, if you really want something different, these people will help you get that. It's unbelievable. And this all started off as me as a homeless 19-year-old staying in apartment complex hallways and stealing my next meal from a store because I was so down bad, and nobody thought that I was worth it. Nobody thought that I was going to pull it together, and just the general ideology that drug addicts don't get better. So that was where I was at, and honestly that's kind of what I expected to be until the end of time. And I just want to say thanks for everybody, for the people that I'm here with today, and for those of you that are watching this video. Just want to say thank you for making that possible and changing lives. There's just not enough I can say about these programs and the opportunity that it really does provide. But thank you very much.